Welcome to Reduce Your Stress with Tim Ringgold. I'm a board-certified music therapist, author, and expert on how to use music to relieve stress fast. This episode of Reduce Your Stress with Tim Ringgold is sponsored by Dr. Nisi, trainer and certifier of master and executive coaches, because she believes every person, every relationship, every business, and your finances should be extraordinary. Find out more about Dr. Nisi Moore and the Life Coaching Institute at www.drnisi.com. That's DRNEECIE.com. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Reduce Your Stress with Tim Ringgold. It's so great to be with you, and I'm so glad you're here. Hey, do you work in healthcare, or do you know someone who does? Because I am hosting a free online summit specifically for healthcare professionals to help them reduce their stress, August 9th through the 13th, called the Reduce Your Stress Summit for Healthcare Professionals. Over 5 days, I have over 20 experts share with you actionable ways to actually heal trauma, banish burnout, and balance work and life. These are things that can be done and are being done, even in the midst of a healthcare system that, let's be honest, is not built to sustain its own. Systemic change is overdue. But there are things that you can do on the individual level to help yourself in the meantime. And a better you leads to a better family and better outcomes and experiences for your patients too. Just go to www.reduceyourstresssummit.com for the details and come join us. Okay, on to the music. As you may remember, from our last episode, my amazing wife, Angelique, recently celebrated a special birthday. And through a series of last-minute events, we found ourselves in a cottage up the mountain, which for us in SoCal is in a little town called Big Bear Lake. Sitting at 6,700 feet altitude, that qualifies as a mountain town when you live at the coast. The kids were at camp, so we had a couple of those peace-filled days that I talked about when discussing the song Partners. Our cottage was perfect for us, surrounded by gigantic evergreen trees with charm to spare. I brought along my travel guitar and my Native American flutes to supply the soundtrack, and this one particular melody fell under my fingertips. It's from the song Last Light, off of the Lifescapes CD, Relax and Unwind, Lakeside. We listened to this album while we were driving around Big Bear Lake, but only because the melody was already playing in my head. Seemed like the soundtrack to Big Bear Lake, at least to me. Anyhow, this melody just got under my fingers and I literally couldn't play anything else all weekend. And once I got home, it was the same. So I just thought, well, I'll pay homage to this melody in this track. So this is basically a glorified cover tune of Last Light. There aren't any nature sounds in the version like on the original album, but hopefully you can still hear the majesty of nature and of the mountainside. So sit back, relax, enjoy the view, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks so much for checking out this episode of Reduce Your Stress with Tim Ringgold. I've got a couple of resources for you, which you can find in the show notes or you can listen to right here. So check it out. If you enjoy the sound of my voice and you enjoy the sound of my guitar, imagine them put together. Go to sonicrecovery.com and take your very own relaxation vacation, where I take you out of the stress of the present moment and back in time to a time when you felt happy, healthy, safe, and sober, and then walk you through that memory so you can bring back those feelings into the challenges you're facing today. So go check that out. It's at sonicrecovery.com. If you're a healthcare worker in recovery, check out the Music in Recovery Self-Care Guide for healthcare professionals that I created just for you. That's at hcp.sonicrecovery.com. And if you're a healthcare worker and you'd like more information about how to help your patients use music, you can check out the Music Medicine Guide that I created just for you at musicmedicineguide.com. Lastly, if you enjoyed the pod and you haven't done it yet, would you just take a minute to rate and review it? It really only takes about 60 seconds, believe it or not, and it would go a long way to help us make more people know just how good this pod is, particularly for healthcare workers and their stress. Thanks again. See you next time.